I just spent time using Meta's new $799 Ray-Ban Display smart glasses, and I honestly didn't expect this reaction. I've tried face-worn tech before, and most of it felt like a preview of a future that was still very far away. This time was different. For the first time ever, I walked away thinking smart glasses might actually make sense in the real world. Not perfect, not finished, but finally believable. These glasses introduce something that previous smart glasses never really nailed. A display that feels useful without being distracting. Instead of full augmented reality, Meta went with a small, fixed screen that sits just off to the side of your right eye. You glance at it when you want, and ignore it when you don't. It's not tracking the world. It's not throwing floating objects into your environment. It's more like a private notification window that's always there when you need it. What surprised me immediately was how bright that display is. This thing cuts through daylight better than most phones I've used, and somehow, even at full brightness, no one around you can see what's on your screen. That alone solves one of the biggest problems with wearable displays: privacy. You can be reading messages, checking directions, or looking at notifications, and from the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. Physically, these glasses feel far more normal than you'd expect. Yes, they're chunkier than regular Ray-Bans, but nowhere near headset territory. At around 69 grams, they're heavier than normal sunglasses, but light enough that after an hour or so, you genuinely forget you're wearing tech. The hinges even flex slightly when you put them on, which makes a big difference in comfort over longer sessions. Under the hood, they're stacked. You get a much better camera than last generation, dual open-ear speakers, and 5 microphones built into the frame. That microphone setup ends up being one of the most important parts of the entire experience, especially once you start using voice features and live captions. Now, controlling smart glasses has always been awkward. Touchpads are fine, buttons are fine, but neither feels natural for something you're supposed to wear all day. Meta's solution is something called a neural band, and it sits on your wrist. It's not a watch it. Reading tiny electrical signals from your muscles and translating subtle hand movements into controls. That sounds crazy, and I expected it to be unreliable, but it's shockingly good. After about an hour, the gestures became automatic. Pinch to select, slide your hand to scroll, twist your wrist to adjust volume. The wild part is that it feels natural without triggering accidentally. I never once opened something by mistake, which is incredibly hard to pull off with gesture-based controls because it doesn't rely on cameras watching your hands. You can use these gestures anywhere walking, sitting, under a table, even with your hands partially hidden. That makes a huge difference compared to other gesture-controlled devices. Now, let's be clear. These glasses do not replace your phone. Not yet. About half of what they do still depends on your smartphone. Meta clearly wants this to be a phone replacement one day, but today isn't that day. Instead, this feels like a bridge between your phone and something more wearable. When you turn the glasses on, you see a simple home screen with the time, notifications, and upcoming events. After a while, you realize you're checking your phone less, just to see small things. Swipe over and you get the app list, and this is where expectations need to be managed. There's no app store, and the selection is limited. Almost everything is a meta version of something you already use. Meta Maps instead of Google Maps. Meta AI instead of ChatGPT. It sounds restrictive, but surprisingly, most of it feels genuinely useful rather than gimmicky. Messaging is where these glasses really shine. I've never enjoyed replying to messages on a smartwatch, but on the glasses, it finally clicks. The display is large enough to comfortably read full messages, open links, and even watch short videos people send you. And responding is fast. You can dictate messages, send voice notes, use quick replies, or even write letters by tracing them on your leg. It sounds ridiculous, but it works well enough that I could actually see people using it quietly in meetings. Dictation, in particular, is insanely good. With 5 microphones right on your face, it picks up your voice clearly, even when you're re-whispering, and it handles punctuation better than most phones. It's one of those things you don't appreciate until you try it. Then there are live captions, and this is where things start to feel futuristic. You look at someone, and the glasses isolate their voice while ignoring background noise. Music, side conversations, other people talking it, all fades away. You get real-time subtitles almost instantly, and it works far better than I expected. Translation builds on that, and while it's a little awkward waiting for the translated text to appear, the accuracy is impressive. Because the glasses hear so clearly, conversations feel more natural, and you don't have to repeat yourself or overpronounce every word. Navigation is exactly how it should be. You get a live arrow that rotates as your head turns, which just feels obvious once you use it. The downside is that MetaMaps still has a long way to go if it wants to compete with Google Maps. Music. Playback runs through Spotify with simplified controls. Speaker quality is solid, but once you turn the volume up, people nearby will hear it. The display is private, the audio isn't. The camera is fine. It takes decent photos and videos. But this is not replacing your phone camera. There's also a slight delay when capturing photos, which can catch people mid-movement if you're not careful. Meta AI itself isn't groundbreaking in terms of intelligence, but the placement changes everything. Having instructions, answers, and follow-up questions sitting in your peripheral vision while your hands are busy is where this starts to feel special. It asks the difference between a device you pull out occasionally and one that is always there. All of this makes you think about what comes next. If the glasses can already see and hear this well, it is not hard to imagine a future where they remember things for you, like where you put your keys without you ever asking. So, should you buy these? For most people, probably not. They're expensive. The app ecosystem is limited, and this clearly feels like a first major step rather than a finished product. But as a signal of where things are going, this is huge. For the first time, smart glasses don't feel like a gimmick. They feel like the beginning of something that's actually going to stick.